Hello walkers, and welcome back to City Walks, where we take you around cities and nature hikes, but today we're doing a city. We are still in France. We're actually in Nantes, which is the biggest city in Brittany and the capital of, sixth largest city in France with about 300,000 people in the metropolitan area. We are actually on the Ile de Nantes, which is also where the Les Machines d'Ile are, and I'm trying to navigate my fellow tourists here. This is probably what it's most famous for, this kind of steampunk powered elephant. We just took a 30-minute ride on it. It was super fun. It's hopefully I'll catch it doing its little rounds in a few minutes anyway. But also they have this very cool carousel, and it is 3 stories tall, and it has all these cool steampunk sculptures of sea life that people ride in and then watch as well. And there's kind of a puppet system, so people can manipulate aspects of the articulated parts of the carousel cars, I guess, for lack of a better word. It's actually super affordable to come and visit this. It's about €10 to ride, €10 to ride the elephant, and a little less if you're 17 or under. And then it's another to get into the gallery where they have all these cool articulated sculptures, I guess, but you can ride in them and they move. It's super cool. If you get online, or maybe I'll put some in at the end. I always say that and I always forget. Anyway, very cool way to start out our walk here in Nantes, France, on the Loire River. If you do not recall, my son and I are riding the French section of the Eurovelo 6 on our bikes. And we had our first day yesterday. It was 40 miles. And we took a rest day today so we could come see this and the Chalet de Duc de Bretagne, or Brittany, or Bretagne. My French is not as good as it should be, and it's been a long day. So, speaking of which, 1, 2, 3, spinning around. My name is Henry. I will be your proxy walker today, your virtual travel guide, and your co-discoverer. That's the main thing on this one, because as I said, I've been here for about 24 hours now, and a lot of that was sleeping. So I'm not an expert. I know what I've learned today, and that's about it. I'd like to thank our Patreon supporters. Thank you very much for helping support this channel. Much appreciated. You can find links to that, to PayPal and Ko-fi if you want to make a one-time donation. Again, very much appreciated. Not required, but it's very helpful, so thank you. I'm going to spin you around again. It is 61 degrees today, Fahrenheit. I think that's 16 Celsius. We're starting out here at 5 p.m. I'm going to take us over to the hall where Les Machines d'Ile is housed. The elephant kind of goes around. They've made other articulated machines that are in other parts of the world, China and down in Toulouse and somewhere else, Calais. Anyway, it's a really cool installation. It's super fun, and we're just going to take a look at this. It's built in an old shipbuilding facility from the 1800s, I believe, I'm guessing. And what else? Oh, and then we're going to head over to the city proper, the main part of the city. And if this elephant, I might go back to the elephant. If it's going, it should be going by the time we have taken a look at this. This very cool structure to the right is one branch of a future installation called the Heron Tree, and it's going to have all kinds of stuff. The sculptures that are in the gallery, we went and saw that earlier, but I can't really go back in and film for you. Those things are going to be in the tree. So the 6x times tree, the trunk is going to be 15 meters wide. I guess that's where it's going to join, so you get an idea of what it's going to be like. And here, the gallery's off to the left here. And then you have this awesome space. You can go in and look at the workshop, stuff they're working on. They asked not to photograph in there, so I didn't. Very cool. Just to give you an idea, that is where we got on the elephant. And that was on the lower level of the elephant. So super fun. Really neat, old industrial structure that they've converted here. I think it's pretty cool. But it's got all the sculptures have a real steampunk vibe to them. So let's go back out here and take a look over there, see if the elephant is doing its elephant thing. It does not appear to be doing so. So, let's go take a look. I don't think it is. Kids having a great time. Kids on the elephant had a blast. I don't know if I can go closer because not only will that music maybe trigger a Google, YouTube copyright issue, but I find it extremely annoying. So, all right, I will try and remember to put in clips of the elephant that I took while we were on it. But let's head over this bridge over the Loire. This is not the main part of the Loire, I believe. I believe the main part is behind us. We're on an island, and this is one of the channels that we'll be walking over. The Loire flows west out into the Bay of Biscayne. We did a city walk in Saint-Nazaire a couple days ago, day before yesterday, and that is right at the mouth. So check that out. We had a beautiful weather for that walk, a little windy, but it's a beautiful little town. There's the Loire flowing past. We are in April. I don't know if I mentioned that. Hopefully it'll be on the little bug that I put on the screen. Sorry, not April, May. We're in May. Again, wonderful bike and pedestrian infrastructure here. Well marked, well maintained. Cars and drivers are very respectful of bikes and people. I just also realized that I like to film these in 60 frames a second, and I forgot to switch it over from 24, so it'll be a little more cinematic. And I'll try to remember to do the next walk at 60. Something there. Loire sedately flowing. park over there, looking downstream. I'm really impressed with Nantes. You know, it's always, you only get a little bit of a glimpse of these cities because I can only cover so much, and I'm sure there are parts that are less than beautiful. But man, so far it's been really, seems really clean, organized. It's got some bustle to it, but lots of cafes and lots of old architecture. I'll tell you a little bit of Nantes as we cross over here from the wiki. All right, Nantes is named after a tribe of Gaul, the Namnetes, who established a settlement between the end of the 2nd century, beginning of the 1st century BC. It's in Brittany, as I mentioned, and the native language here, or historic language here, is Breton. And it was actually, my son likes to look up the info on this. It was actually its own department, and then, or nation, I guess, duchy, and it began to get a little more successful, a little more self-assured, and I'm gonna choose a route here. And so, and there was Anna of Brittany was the Duke's daughter, and she was engaged to be married to somebody else that was going to increase the Duke's power. And so the king came and said, no, you're actually going to marry my son. And so when they had a son, he became the king of France, and Brittany fell under his, is it suzerainty? Is that the word I'm looking for? Let's do this. Let's go down this little alleyway. Hopefully it's safe. And get into a quieter part of the city. Kind of cool cobbles. So humid and verdant, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. That was Rue Cardine, and I don't know what this street is called. To unzip my jacket. Warm. This was called Rue du Bâtonnet-Yves Guénaud. Again, I have to apologize for my pronunciation. We're going to cross Rue Flandres Dunkerque 40. I'm not really sure where I'm headed here. I know I'm headed in the general direction of the older part of town. Looks like we're going to come up on a park here, so I have walked around a little bit and seen some cool stuff, and I'm hoping to find those places again. But again, I'm new here, and I'm loving it. A lot of Nantes' authority and power comes from its history as a port, and Um, and it was a center of the actually the French Atlantic slave trade in the 1800s, before it was outlawed by France. And they had in the museum at the Duke's Chateau a fair amount of information on that, and it was all in French, but it seemed like they weren't really shying away from the history of it, which is good to call that out, acknowledge it. Love these tree-lined streets. Oh, it just makes such a huge difference. I've been wondering why I like the city, and I think, or why it seems so clean, because there's definitely some trash around. But I think it's because the stone is brightly colored, you know. It has a lot more light to it, and just makes it seem brighter and cleaner. And I believe it seems like they've also really well maintained the buildings. No dogs. Oh, no dogs off leash. Oh, that's cool. This is Cour Cambron. I don't know what Cour means, C-O-U-R-S, offhand. Look at the flowers over here. Really pretty. Oh, Labrador retriever. Bonjour. These giant magnolia trees. I used to have one a couple of them in our front yard when I lived in North Carolina. Super fun to climb when you're a little kid. Look at the ironwork, gilded points. Okay, what are we here? This is a restaurant of some sort off the right. I like the little paned windows on those. And then we're going to enter a square or a place. We're on Rue Piron, P-I-R-O-N. Oh, this is La Cigale, the Cigale. Sounds famous for some reason. And this is the opera, I believe. Just going to spin you around slowly, give you an idea of where we are. There's another little plaza back there. Yeah, this is Teatro Graslin. That's about all I know about it. Let's head this way. This is Rue Strade Crébillon. You can see that where they put the street signs, and that's pretty typical around Europe. They're usually blue. Passing the Hotel de France. This seems to be a shopping street, higher end stuff. This says we're on Rue Crébillon. Oh yeah, here we go. Rue Strade Crébillon. We've got these side streets. Love the cafes here. So awesome to be able to see them. I think it's pretty cool. It just adds to the ambiance. Being able to sit outside, eat, have a drink. I guess you folks have asked in the past to see into the stores, so I'm not going to just window shop the whole way down, but I will cover a few things that seem cool. Oh, yes, awesome. I found one of the places I want to take you. All right, so we got, and it's called Le Passage Pomeroy. Let me show you just this menswear shop here, pretty snazzy. Let's walk through here. This is I don't know much about it, but it just appears to be a high-end shopping mall, but it's absolutely beautiful. You can see, I will show you some of the shop windows as we go by. Look at the marble floors here. I guess that's marble. The whole thing is pretty cool Rococo-esque styles. There's Nantes. Little side streets here. But this is not quite as old or beautiful over there, but let's head down another level. That window at the top of the sculpture and the clock is open actually, so it's letting some nice air come through. First shop off to the right, looks like. And I'm going to spin around here, the bags, Paul Marius. Alright. I'm going to show you that. This is where we came from. It is a Saturday, so that's probably why One of the reasons it's so busy in here. Also, it seems these places seem to liven up around 4 or 5 p.m. All the colors here.
C'est joli.
And here's a sweet shop. Look at this chocolate. That looks like it's completely edible. Alright. I didn't notice this as we went by before. On the corner here of Rue de la Passe. These art there. Okay, we're going to go to the left on Rue de la Fosse, F-O-S-S-E. There's a very cool bookshop I'm going to show you up here on the right too. It's the Library Independent, I think. And I just love it. It's all old wood, big plate glass. Well, that's Georges Gautier. Seems to be a chocolate shop. But here, my wife would love this. Traveling, I would love this. Look at this old bookshop. All the dark wood. Libraire Independent. Tome 1 and Tome 2. I'll just poke a look in here. So, very cool. Look at this transfer. That classic old look to it. It's a men's. It's like a menswear shop. I'm gonna have to figure out what this thing's called. This is the Royal Place Royale. Whew, beautiful. And a bunch of streets radiating out of here, which is really cool. Let's go take a look at the fountain. I want to thank all of you who have taken the time to ask questions in the comments section and to share your memories and also make corrections. Did I say that? Like I said, I appreciate anything you do to help other viewers learn about this place or any of the places we have been. I'm going to duck down and around because I want to show you. Where is it? Is it in here? Yeah. It's another place right down here. I'm seeing more and more of these tiled art on the corners. Fresh Burritos is a chain, I guess. Never heard of it, but there is a McDonald's. My son was commenting that KFC seems to have a greater representation in Europe than in the U.S. Or maybe it's more part of the culture. I don't know. Look at these cafes. He also pointed out that you can tell when you're in the tourist zone because you get a lot more. We're on Rue de Gorges, G-O-R-G-E-S. A lot more stuff is changed than in English. I do want to point out Mr. Doner, which is probably a chain, but they sell doner kebabs. And if you haven't ever had a doner kebab, I highly recommend it. It's basically a gyro. Like a Greek style, but more Middle Eastern, I guess. That's a very broad description. But it's basically lamb meat or chicken or whatever in a pita and with sauce on it and some veggies, and it is delicious. When I backpacked around for a few months in the 90s in Europe, I ate a lot of them because they were cheap and they were good. This is FNAC. It looks like a municipal government building, but inside is a treat of high-end electronics, cameras and computers and doodads and all sorts of stuff. Pardon the sniffles. We do have a tram system here. I haven't ridden it, don't know where it goes. It's kind of cool. And I don't remember what place we're in here. Excuse-moi. Place du Commerce is what we're leaving. Oh, look at those gardens. And we are on Franklin Roosevelt, Cour Franklin Roosevelt. Seems to be a main artery. I'll show you these flowers over here for a little bit. I smell curry. Trying to zoom in and zoom out with one hand on Google Maps. I keep messing it up. All right, we're going to go back up Rue de Cudic, which should take us to the right of the Place Royale and take us up to the St. Nicholas Basilica. So let's just enjoy the light in the buildings for a minute. Mercure Hotel. Rue Saint Catherine. Probably said better, pronounced better. You know what? I'm just gonna stop apologizing. I did it once. I am not fluent in French. Alright, so here's part of where the co-discovery comes in. I walk around, I know I don't really know what I'm doing or where I'm going necessarily, and that bugs some people, but for me, if I had an established route, I might not find things like this cool door with the lion knockers and the spikes and the screens. There's another shoe store. I love those little details. And I think I pointed out some art on the corner of the building with mosaics. I actually remembered that word. It's a shock. So you can see this is Rue d'Orléans is very busy. We'll probably come back here at some point. First, let's go see this Basilica. Here we go. It's actually, I mean, that tower is pretty tall, but it's actually not a huge basilica. I think there are other bigger churches, cathedrals to the west of here, east of here, sorry, east. I'm gonna go up another block, I think, because we get into some stone here, and there's also a, hopefully this guy's not going to use it, something I want to point out.
Good chateau.
I have removed my hat and we're just gonna see if we can duck in here for a second. Okay, I'm always a little leery to do that. I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody's religion or anybody's experience in a place of contemplation like that, but I think we did okay. And incomplete. Now, and now for something completely different. Well, first of all, hold on now. Okay, this red box here is a urinatoire, which is basically a place to urinate. No privacy, no problem. I've seen people using them several times. Cool metal pipes up here, and you get these, probably can't distinguish, but up at the very top are some gargoyles. We'll see some closer up as we make our way up this sort of incline. Oh. Someone's getting distracted with toys. So here's some gargoyles. And what I kind of liked here is that because it's so wet, they have mold and moss growing on, not mold, moss growing on them. And so they look like they have fur on them. Very cool. What else did I want to point out? We're getting into more of a modern area. I think it was over here. That's what we'll do. Look back at Basilica St. Nicholas. We're gonna go up Rue Chateau. It's like some people are closing up shop on their restaurant / bar. This is kind of a neat 19th century looking building as well. Nantes was occupied during World War II. That much I gathered from the museum we went to. All right, and then I believe this is part of the old city walls. And where else? Oh yeah, over here. And you can see some more of it over there. Right. All right, everybody. I think that is going to be it for this walk. I'm going to try and get another one in before the rain comes and before I have to go to dinner, or maybe I'll do it after dinner. Also have to make a little bicycle-oriented purchase coming up. So thank you for joining me here in Nantes, and hope you'll join me again, whether it's here or the next place we go. I'm trying to film a bunch of these walks, and I hope you enjoy them. Let me comment below if you are into it. If not, keep on stepping. We'll just go right up here. Right, quick. I see this green line a lot, and I don't know what it's for. I feel like it should be indicating something, but I'm not sure what. All right, thanks guys. Keep on stepping.